Broncos country, what's going on? We got a ton of Shrine Bowl risers to go over. We'll take a look at who has stood out over these 4 days of practice games here on Thursday. We'll take a look at some of their highlights. Who could possibly still be a sleeper that the Broncos could pick? We'll get into it. Of course, I want to hear y'all's thoughts. Smash that like and subscribe. And a quick shout out to my friend Marky Sports in the description. I put a link to his perfect off season as a response to my new perfect off season. And yeah, we're gonna have to see how it goes, if you like his better or mine. But let's go ahead and get into it, guys. I'm gonna share my screen. We'll go over just some overview of like prospects who stood out, and then we'll get to the highlights. Okay, guys. And of course, again, like, subscribe, join the chat. Thank you to everybody who has found the channel. We're almost to 2,200. Absolutely incredible. So let's go ahead and get started. I think you guys are going to be intrigued by a lot of this. Okay. And let's increase the size here. So this is ESPN Plus came out with an article here. Top Shrine Bowl risers. Oronde Gadsden, the second. I believe his dad played in the NFL as well. Draft range 3 to 4. They said Gadsden helped himself stand out in a loaded tight end class with an impressive 3 days of practice to kick off the event. Known as a pass catching threat, he showed great fluidity, good hands, and an ability to consistently separate at 6'4", 247. Gadsden is a moved tight end who can be deployed from multiple spots, like Jimmy Graham, maybe. How about that? His best role will be as a mismatch in the passing game. 73 catches for 934 yards and 7 TDs in 2024. Kyle McCord also broke the ACC passing record, I believe. Viewed as a mid-day 3 prospect entering the Shrine Bowl week, Gadsden might have moved himself into the top 100. So, guys, that means if we're going to get Gadsden, he might have to be our 3rd round pick. Maybe even, hey, if things go crazy, let's say he runs a 4.4, man, he might even have to be a 2nd round pick if we're going to grab him. Jordan Phillips, defensive tackle from Maryland. Guys, do not sleep on Jordan Phillips, okay? Only 20 years old. Phillip was awesome all weekend after entering the event with a late round 3 grade. He showcased fantastic power in his lower body and fast hands when engaging with blockers. The 6'1", 318-pounder is likely a 3 tech in the NFL. Hey, that's fine by me. And it's easy to look at his body type and active pass rush profile and make a lofty comparison to Bills' Ed Oliver. He had 10 run stops this season. Okay, that sounds great. Holland Pierce. I would not be opposed to drafting a backup offensive tackle right now. One of the biggest surprises this weekend was how Pierce performed at 6'8", 342 with 36-inch arms. His measurables were the talk of the event, but his technique was also better than anticipated after entering Rutgers as a 450-pound walk-on. Pierce continued to trend onward, and his stock transitioned from late round hopeful to interesting developmental prospect. He needs to improve his balance and strength, but strides are being made. He has 27 career starts at left tackle and 24 at right tackle. Could be swing tackle for us. Holland Pierce, man, when you lose 110 pounds, incredible work ethic. Ricky White, this is somebody that we've talked a lot about in terms of Denver Broncos possible draft targets. Dynamic receiver from UNLV. I was a fan of White before seeing him in person this week, but he was moving into my top 100 after entering the Shrine Bowl events with a 4th round grade. White is quick and tough working through his routes. He's also a force on special teams, blocking 4 punts this season and returning 1 for a touchdown. The 6'1", 179-pound White is one of the guys in this draft I'd jump on a table to defend. I feel that strongly about what he brings. White is coming off of back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons. He even caught 19 touchdowns over that time. Yeah, Ricky White's he's a fun prospect. I'll definitely do a film room on him. Jimmy Horn, just got done talking about him on my Buffs channel, David Talks Buffs. It didn't take long for Horn's quickness to stand out in practice, and he complemented that, with strong hands, consistently plucking the ball out of the air. He was especially dominant during the team periods in the red zone, despite being only 5'8", 171 pounds. Horn consistently got separation, showed an ability to defeat man coverage. after he caught 37 passes for 441 yards this season. I had Horn on a round 7 bubble, but he positioned himself this week to be a late rounder who can round out a pro depth chart. Yeah, I think he's a great route runner, plenty of speed. He will be one of the fastest guys, if not the fastest guy in NFL, on an NFL team that he lands with. The biggest thing for him is size and durability. But he made a great case for himself this week. Cobee Bryant, round 4. Man, I would love to have Cobee Bryant here as a depth corner. Bryant's hard to miss on the practice field, whether he's letting his fellow cornerbacks know what to do or pointing out the flaws of every wide receiver prospect. And he's loud about it. But Bryant also backs it up, being 6 foot and 170 pounds. He had 13 picks and 25 pass breakups over 4 seasons at Kansas. He needs to clean up his technique. He tends to be grabby, but his confidence and fluid movement have boosted his stock this week from an early day 3 grade to inside my top 100 and likely a 3rd round selection. Then we also have Elijah Huzzie. Right here, Huzzie was exceptional during the first 2 days of practice, showing quickness and ball skills. He's strictly a slot corner where he's a tough, instinctive defender. He was especially impressive during one-on-one sessions, showcasing movement and skills and reactionary quickness. The 5'9", 194-pound Huzzie was also comfortable fielding punts. So earlier this week, Huzzie, who had 1 interception but 7 pass breakups in 2024, were jockeying for a draftable grade. But from most scouts I talked to, he's firmly in the late round picture now, has a chance to stick on an NFL roster. Yeah, I'll skip Elijah Roberts. I mean, we don't really have a big need at edge, but he's a quality player from SMU that went on a little bit longer than I thought. I'll just scroll through these here really quick so you guys can just see them. But guys who stood out: Kyle McCord. I don't think we take a quarterback this year. Maybe next year, though, as a backup. Cobee Bryant, Elijah Roberts right there, SMU. Will Sheppard, who I think I'm a big fan of. I think he'd be a fantastic fit here. The next kind of Cortland Sutton. He's quick in and out of his breaks for his big size. Jackson Meeks from Syracuse is another guy to keep at top of mind. And then Thomas Perry, interior offensive lineman from Middlebury. Interesting. I don't even know he was there, but that's a Division III college. My friend Mike from CU actually went there for undergrad, played hockey there. So shout out to Middlebury College. So going to be interesting. I'll get to some of your guys' comments here in just a bit, but I wanted to just show you, man, another guy that's been talked about on a lot of the shows that I've watched and podcasts I've listened to of guys who are there. CJ West, just looking absolutely dominant. Defensive tackle who transferred from Kent State to Indiana this year. Seen as kind of a late round guy, but might have worked his way up in the day two. We'll just have to see. But just totally bullying. Holy moly, just a rip move. You love to see it. Let's watch some more reps. I mean, 53 is having a tough time against him. Goodness. Nice little swipe, little punch right there. Boom. And man, I mean, you guys are getting a live look at this. I mean, Johnny T saying yes, please. Holy moly. Yeah, I need a guy who can penetrate like that. I like big penetrators. And then just destroying this Purdue center. But the Hoosiers love that. Excuse me. Yeah, 53 from Purdue. Really struggling, man. Tough day for him. But CJ West looked like an absolute menace. Here's Cobee Bryant with a nice pass breakup. Trying to tell who he's going up against. Yeah, a little grabby, man. Got there a little early, but I love corners who are confident. I mean, Riley Moss, Pat Surtain, these are some of the most confident guys that, maybe on the entire team, which is really saying something. Jaquan McMillan is also an incredibly confident guy. At the corner position, man, you need guys that kind of got that Aqib Talib type of energy to be successful. I truly believe it's like a quality, sort of like wide receiver. Like you kind of need that dog in you, if you're gonna make a nice little career for yourself, right? Man, corner's that same way. Shout out to Marquee Sports for putting me onto this guy, Efton Chisholm, along with some other podcasts I've talked about him. Eastern Washington is kind of made some noise during the Shrine Bowl. Maybe he's a late round target. Kind of think Mark was describing him as kind of like a Hunter Renfro type, quick feet and the release active hands, sink his hips low, high points the football. And there he is. He's got that little neck beard, chin strap thing going on. Here's another route from him. Yeah, it does seem very quick coming out of his breaks. So yeah, maybe he could be like a Hunter Renfro type of find. I mean, wasn't Hunter Renfro like a late day 3 guy? Let's move on to Oronde Gadsden, guys. I mean, these are the highlights that I wanted to show you. Oronde Gadsden, Shrine Bowl. Pat Stats, he also does a lot of great draft content, so go follow him on YouTube. But guys, this is the type of tight end that we need. I mean, look how fluid he looks. Look, I mean, he's just catching everything. He looks amazing. Hey, getting involved in the blocking, he'll need to work on that for sure. But we need a Jimmy Graham. Yeah, I mean, just look, man, he's just mossing dudes. Love to see that. I'll go away from the broadcast footage. I don't want to be demonetized, but hey, let's check out this one. Ronnie Gadsden getting down the field. You can see him right here, and he just goes way downfield. Oh, nice, nice deep corner route. Yes, please. Yes, please. What I'm talking about. So I saw a question on Twitter, might have been from Boggins, day 1 or day 2 tight end? How about day 1, day 2, and day 3 tight end? How about we just draft tight ends? How about that? So, anyways, I think that'll about round it out. I do want to comment on Colin McCord really quick. I think that he's a really strong pocket passer. If he falls to out of the draft, which I'm not expecting him to, I would love Denver to make a pitch for him as a UDFA. Um, Again, you want to try and find that long-term quarterback, but want Zach Wilson back. Maybe it's Jared Stidham. We'll have to see. But again, I think probably not this year, but if we don't do anything like this, maybe next year you see Denver draft a quarterback. What you don't want to do, and thankfully we're not in this situation where when we brought in Peyton Manning, in 2012, what did Elway do with that second round pick? He drafted Brock Osweiler. And because you didn't have the first round 5th-year option on there, Peyton Manning's and Brock Osweiler's contract expired at the same time. So you guys know what sort of issues that created. We ended up going with our 3rd string quarterback because Brock also left in free agency. So one thing that I've never thought about that I always think about now is making sure that our backup quarterback and possible guy to take over the reins moving forward is not on the same trajectory in terms of when their contract expires as the starter. Let's just not do that. Okay. So, anyways, guys, I'll get to some of your comments. If you guys got any, we got 62 people in here. Hope you're doing well. And again, like give me CJ West in the interior, baby. Like I think that would be so much fun. I think that would be again, if we get Kenneth Grant in the first round, like I'm cool with that, but I just think we need to make sure we're still drafting defensive line talent in this draft. And hey, maybe safety. I mean, Kodiak put out a great video today on safety about how it might be a higher priority. I mean, Daniel Jeremiah had us taking the South Carolina safety, Emin Wari. Guys, He's like 6'1", 6'2", 200 and like 35 pounds, but can fly. That's what I'm talking about. Sounds like he might even be a better linebacker, huh? But for fun, man, let's go and do this pro football focus. Since I don't got any comments, you guys are a little quiet today. Let's go ahead and do just like a fun little mock draft and see how this thing goes. So we're gonna go on turbo speed right now. You guys know I just love doing all this. And again, this is my greatest fear. This is what a lot of the mocks have us happening right now. Where Tyler Warren, Egbuka, freaking Genty, Luther Burden, they're all going high. And again, I did this draft yesterday with Kenneth Grant, so we're not going to go back to this, but yeah, we could possibly go Matthew Golden in the first round, which again, I won't complain about that. I think he's a really talented wide receiver, junior, so only 21 years old. Love to see that. 6 feet, 195 pounds. I think he's a really good route runner, nice quickness, has good straight line speed as well. So he could very well be an option here. Of course, I'm a big Colston Loveland fan, so I think that would be really fun getting him. I would even take him at 20, 6'5", 245 pounds. I think he does kind of move a lot like, Travis Kelce, man. I'm just going to say it. So we can't allow the Chiefs to get any of these guys. But for this exercise, let's see what sort of, trade downs we're getting. How about we trade down to 26 with the Los Angeles Rams? And I feel like these trades are unrealistic half the time, but how about you give me 90 and you give me 100 and we'll call this thing good. I don't want to be picking too much because that also gets annoying. Oh, okay. What if I throw in 207? Hey, there we go. So we pick 26, 90, 100. So that gives us oh, man. I forgot to do the 7 rounds on this. We're going to restart this. Maybe I'll get some better luck this time. That was just 1 round. Nope, still the same stuff. So we're going to take a look at this. We got to trade back to 31 with Philly. All right, fine. We're going to do it. But you got to give me you got to give me 63.95. Oh, man, you jerk. How about I give you 196 and I give you a 7th next year? No, I'll give you a 6th. Okay. So they get 20 and 196. We get 31, 63, and 95. So that gives us let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 top 100 picks. Yes, please. I love it. All right, let's resume the draft. And man, I was hoping Tyleik Williams was gonna fall. It is no worries though, because my guy Colston Loveland is right here. I'm taking him. I like him. Now, this is where things get interesting. I mean, we got pick 63 coming up as well. I ain't gonna trade anymore. I don't want to do that. But Carson Swezinger is a guy that's like shooting up draft boards like crazy right now. A well-rounded linebacker. I think he should be able to cover by his, just by looking at his grades. Guy that can kind of be put. I mean, look at this year. He took 48 snaps in the slot. That's really impressive. Redshirt junior, 6'2", 225 pounds. Man, I would love to have him out here. Of course, you guys know I'm a big fan of Caleb Johnson as well. If we're going to go ahead and look at interior defensive line, again, Alfred Collins is a guy that I really like. But you know what? For this exercise, let's have some fun with this, okay? Let's have some no, we'll do that at pick 63. Caleb Johnson. Now, how about Jaden Higgins? Jaden Higgins is a guy that I think is a legitimate starter in the NFL. 6'4", 215 pounds, senior. Let's do it. Let's wait on running back. Let's see how this goes. Jaden Higgins, baby. Now, this is where things get interesting. Pick 63. Guy that I really like, Alfred Collins. He's a beast. You guys know. I mean, I've already done a film room on him. Shout out to Really Flawed. She does great. work on college football, NFL, big time Longhorns fan. But I mean, Harold Fannin, we could go the 2 tight end route. Gunnar Helm is still available, but guys, this is somebody who I think is going to absolutely shoot up the boards. I do like Deion Walker. He actually measured in at the Senior Bowl, and he is a junior, but he is at the Senior Bowl because I think it was the Senior Bowl because they made some, they changed the rule now. Anybody can go, but he's actually measured at 6'7", 340 pounds. And so he's got some things to work on. I mean, with his probably pad level, but athletes like this do not grow on trees. And maybe he isn't even like a guy who plays a lot of one tech at the NFL level, but a guy that can kind of rush opposite of Zach Allen, I think. Dude, he's just a physical beast. So I know there are a few of you guys who are a Deion Walker fan. Dude, we're just going to freaking do it. We're going to draft Deion Walker, and we're going to feel amazing. Now, we got our tight end. We got our wide receiver. We got our interior defender. Do we want to double down on tight end? Do we want to go with another wide receiver in Tez Johnson, who is like 0 percentile in terms of measurables, but like 99th in terms of like his production? He's a very interesting case, right? 5'10", 165 pounds. Another guy kind of similar to LeJontay Wester, but I think has probably a little bit more straight line speed. It's been compared to Tank Dell. Trey Harris, man, I'm not that big on Trey Harris right now, guys. Got to be honest. People might say Ole Miss puts out wide receivers, but AJ Brown and DK Metcalf, those guys were all there during like the Hugh Freeze era, right? It was all before Lane Kiffin. Quinshad Judkins is available, man. We got Tate Ratledge, Andrew Mubuka, who I think would be a solid safety as well. But for this exercise, man, we're gonna go with Devin Neal, man, a guy that I'm just liking more and more the more I watch him. Now, Andrew Mubuka, guy that I've had targeted as a possible safety. You know how much Sean Payton loves Texas players, including, a guy that we got there in the backfield already, PJ Locke. Could this guy be an upgrade over PJ Locke? Quite possibly. I think PJ Locke was a UDFA, and Andrew Mubuka might get 3rd round draft capital, which would be really, really nice. JJ Peegs is another guy, if that's how you pronounce his name. I watched a little bit of him as well, and just dominant. I wouldn't mind getting somebody like him. Tyler Barron, I think that he's going to be probably within the first couple rounds type of guy. 10 sacks this year. He was just an absolute menace. And yeah, stays healthy. I think he's a really good player. But yeah, I think in this case, we're just going to go with Mubuka. Tate Ratledge is kind of tantalizing there as well. All right, 4th round. We got here. Oh man, I'm going with the offensive line, no doubt. Ooh, or not. I mean, Cobee King, he's a guy that I really like from Penn State. I think I've had him in a couple of my other mocks, so I guess we'll just skip on him for now because I think I've included him in some other ones. But really good. Shamar Turner's a guy that I've also had in mocks. But let's have some fun with this. Connor Colby, guard, Iowa. You can't go wrong. We need somebody in the trenches coming up soon. All right. Where do we want to go from here with our 6th round pick? Let's see what other tight ends are available right now. Yeah, Bryant Cuthie. I can't pronounce his name. Bryson Nesbitt. We talked a little bit about them yesterday. Wide receivers, still plenty left, but with Jaden Higgins, I'm honestly chilling until the 7th. Maybe if one of those guys falls. Let's check out running back. Yeah, I don't know if I want to draft any of those guys that drafting Devin Neal. So, man, really just might go with one of the best players available, position of need, Kareem Reed. Nah, I don't know if I'm feeling him. A guy that I have a lot of respect for is Ty Robinson. This guy would be a menace on the defensive line. He gave my Buffs hell this year. and last year in a losing effort. Love to bring him in. And last pick at 207. Man, where do we go from here? Tonka Hemingway. Do I completely disregard linebacker? Man, tough decisions. I think I might do it though, or bring in a guy like Cobee Bryant. I had him in my mock last year. Howard Cross is still available from Notre Dame. He's a guy that I also really like. Guy that could take over for some John Franklin Myers. Um, down the line, David Gabenda at linebacker. Let's switch this thing up a little bit though. Nah, we're not drafting Graham Mertz. I thought about it. Jordan Hancock, safety. That could be interesting. National champion. I love Ohio State guys. Screw it. So I know some people want an all offensive draft, guys, but I just don't think that this is the class for that. There's still a lot of really good defensive players here. Ending up with Colston, Higgins, Deion Walker, Devin Neal, Andrew Mabuka, Connor Cobee, Ty Robinson, Jordan Hancock. Again, we get some guys that possibly in the later half of the draft that could develop into a starter. If not, they provide great special teams play as well. And then you get some big-time weapons on offense with Colston Loveland, Jaden Higgins, Devin Neal. You got to love it. And then, we're focusing on the trenches. We can't do a Jerry Jones and lose track of what's going on with our trenches. We need a consistent pipeline there. We cannot disregard it, even though I do in half of these mock drafts. But Deion Walker, Connor Cobee, Ty Robinson, man, I would love to have Ty Robinson on a team that I can root for. That would be great. So, anyways, guys, thanks for tuning in here with me. Oh, thank you, Brandon. I knew this. Makuba, that's right. Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm always getting my names mixed up, and I will try my best to make sure I'm pronouncing that well. You moving forward, hell yeah, that would be an awesome trade. Mark, what's going on? Sorry I didn't comment on your video for your perfect offseason, but I did share it to my channel. So good. You did so much better than me, and people should go vote for you for having the most perfect offseason. But this is a draft. Hopefully, if this sort of stuff happens, I would be thrilled. I'm just scared a lot of these guys that we want, they're going to go much higher than we expect. That's usually the case. But guys, remember this. Freaking Bucky Irving fell in the 4th round. I didn't realize that till just a little bit ago, a few days ago. I thought he was a 3rd round pick. So anything can happen, man. Hopefully we can get a nice little steal. Hey, get a nice little CU player there on day 3. That would be really nice to add, to the receiving core. But at the end of the day, I'm loyal to just improving our Denver Broncos. That's what we want to see. Mark's saying appreciate it. I had a huge advantage watching you go first. You're the GOAT. Well, thank you. I have a lot of fun with it, and I love that you pointed out because we got the richest owners in football. They're like 10 times richer than anybody else in the NFL. We can just give these guys a ton of signing bonuses and start to really piss off the rest of the NFL. So I think most of our targets that we're going to have going in, we're going to get. Now, some people have brought up how they don't want Justin Reed out here. They don't want Javon Holland, character concerns because he tweeted himself kicking a bag of rocks after Vic Fangio got fired. Character concerns, man, whatever, man. I don't care about that, man. This guy can play. Bring him in here. I'm sure he's better than PJ Locke. All respect to PJ, but yeah, bring in a safety with a heartbeat. Bring in somebody like Dre Greenlaw. That that would be cool. Zach Bond, heck, Nick Bolton. Sign as many Kansas City Chiefs as he can. That's how I see it. So, guys, I'm gonna get out of here. Have a fantastic evening. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, man. Is this draft does it suck? Colston Loveland? Let me know. But I appreciate you guys. Go Broncos.